Chapter 1: The New Drama Club. Emma Collins had always loved the performing arts. From a young age, she had dreamed of being on stage, captivating audiences with her acting skills. So, when her family moved to the small town of Brooksville, Emma was thrilled to discover that her new high school had a drama club. Eager to make new friends and pursue her passion, Emma joined the club right away. The drama club met in the old Brooksville Theater, a grand but slightly dilapidated building that had been the heart of the town's cultural scene for decades. The theater was filled with history, and its walls seemed to echo with the performances of the past. On her first day at the drama club, Emma was introduced to Mr. Thompson, the club's enthusiastic director. "Welcome, Emma. We're so glad to have you," he said with a warm smile. "We've got a great group of students this year, and we're working on a very special play." Emma looked around at her new classmates, who were busy rehearsing their lines and practicing their stage movements. She quickly made friends with a few of them, including Lily, a talented actress with a penchant for drama, and Jake, a tech-savvy student who handled the lighting and sound. Mr. Thompson gathered the students together and announced, "This year's production is a classic, The Phantom of the Opera. It's a challenging play, but I know we can do it. Let's give it our all." Excitement buzzed through the group as they began their rehearsals. Emma was thrilled to be cast as Christine, the lead female role. She threw herself into her rehearsals, determined to give her best performance. Chapter 2: The Strange Occurrences. As rehearsals progressed, Emma started to notice strange things happening around the theater. At first, it was just little things, props that went missing, doors that creaked open on their own, and cold drafts that seemed to come from nowhere. But soon, the occurrences became more unsettling. One evening, as Emma was practicing her lines on stage, she heard a faint whispering sound. She paused, straining to hear, but the whispers stopped. She shrugged it off, thinking it was just her imagination. But then she saw a shadowy figure move across the balcony, disappearing into the darkness. "Did you see that?" Emma asked Lily, who was sitting in the front row. Lily looked up from her script, puzzled. "See what?" "The shadow up on the balcony," Emma replied, pointing to the spot where she had seen the figure. Lily squinted at the balcony, but it was empty. "I don't see anything." "Maybe it was just a trick of the light." Emma nodded, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Over the next few days, more strange events occurred. The lights would flicker, strange noises echoed through the halls, and several students reported seeing ghostly figures. Mr. Thompson tried to reassure the students, attributing the occurrences to the theater's age and creaky infrastructure. But Emma couldn't help but wonder if there was more to it. She decided to do some investigating on her own. Chapter 3: The Legend of the Haunted Theater. Emma spent her free time researching the history of the Brooksville Theater. She visited the local library and scoured old newspapers and town records. What she discovered was both fascinating and chilling. The theater had been built in the early 1900s by a wealthy businessman named Charles Whitmore. It quickly became the center of the town's cultural life, hosting plays, concerts, and other events. But tragedy struck in the 1920s when a fire broke out during a performance, killing several actors and audience members. According to the legend, the ghost of one of the actors, a young woman named Margaret, had haunted the theater ever since. Margaret had been a rising star, known for her beauty and talent, and she had died tragically in the fire. Some said that her spirit remained in the theater, longing to perform once more. Emma couldn't believe what she was reading. Could it be true? Was the theater really haunted by the ghost of a long-dead actress? She decided to share her findings with Lily and Jake. "Do you really think the theater is haunted?" Jake asked skeptically after Emma had finished explaining. "I don't know," Emma admitted. "But it would explain all the strange things that have been happening. Maybe Margaret's spirit is trying to communicate with us." Lily shivered. "That's creepy. But what can we do about it?" Emma thought for a moment. "I think we need to find a way to help Margaret move on. Maybe if we acknowledge her presence and honor her memory, she can find peace." Jake nodded slowly. "It's worth a try. But how do we do that?" Emma smiled. "I have an idea." Chapter 4: A Plan to Help. Emma's plan was simple but heartfelt. She decided that the drama club would dedicate their performance of The Phantom of the Opera to Margaret's memory. They would acknowledge her presence in the theater and honor her spirit through their performance. With Mr. Thompson's approval, Emma and her friends began to spread the word. They placed a special dedication in the program and held a small ceremony before their final dress rehearsal, inviting the cast and crew to join them in paying tribute to Margaret. As they gathered on stage, Emma felt a sense of anticipation. She held a candle in her hand and spoke softly. "Margaret, we know you're here with us. We dedicate this performance to you and honor your memory. May you find peace and know that you will always be remembered." The cast and crew lit their candles, and a moment of silence filled the theater. Emma felt a gentle breeze, and for a brief moment, she thought she saw a shadowy figure standing at the edge of the stage. But when she blinked, it was gone. With the dedication complete, the cast and crew returned to their final preparations. Emma felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. She was ready to give her best performance and honor Margaret's memory. Chapter 5: The Performance. The night of the performance arrived, and the theater was filled with excited audience members. Emma stood backstage, her heart pounding with a mix of nerves and excitement. She glanced at the mirror in her dressing room and whispered, "This is for you, Margaret." As the curtain rose, Emma stepped onto the stage, fully embodying the character of Christine. The performance was electrifying, and the cast gave their all. Emma felt a connection to the audience and her fellow actors, as if they were all part of something greater. Throughout the performance, Emma noticed small, encouraging signs. The lights seemed to shine brighter, the air felt warmer, and the whispers of the past seemed to blend harmoniously with the present. She felt Margaret's presence, guiding and supporting her. When the final curtain fell, the audience erupted into applause. Emma and her castmates took their bows, basking in the cheers and appreciation of the crowd. Emma felt a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment, knowing that they had given their best performance. Backstage, Mr. Thompson congratulated the cast. "You were all fantastic. This was one of the best performances we've ever had." Emma smiled, feeling a sense of pride and joy. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I think we had a little help from Margaret." Mr. Thompson nodded, his eyes twinkling with understanding. "Perhaps we did. Whatever it was, it worked." Chapter 6: A Peaceful Farewell. As the cast and crew gathered to celebrate their success, Emma felt a gentle breeze brush past her. She turned to see a faint, ghostly figure standing at the edge of the stage. It was Margaret, her expression filled with gratitude and peace. Emma stepped forward, her heart swelling with emotion. "Thank you, Margaret. We hope you found the peace you were looking for." Margaret smiled and nodded, her form growing fainter. "Thank you, Emma. You've given me the chance to perform one last time. I can now move on." With those final words, Margaret's spirit faded into the light, leaving behind a sense of calm and serenity. Emma felt a tear roll down her cheek, but it was a tear of happiness. She knew that Margaret's spirit was finally at peace. As the celebration continued, Emma shared her experience with Lily and Jake. They listened in awe, realizing that they had been part of something truly special. "You did it, Emma," Lily said, hugging her friend. "You helped Margaret find peace." Emma smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "We all did. This was a team effort, and I'll never forget it." Epilogue: A legacy of performance. The story of Margaret's spirit and the haunted theater became a cherished legend in Brooksville. The drama club continued to perform in the old theater, each production carrying the memory of Margaret and the magic of that unforgettable performance. Emma continued to pursue her passion for acting, inspired by the experience and the connections she had made. She knew that the theater was a place of magic and memories, where the past and present could come together to create something beautiful. Years later, Emma returned to the Brooksville Theater as a successful actress, ready to direct her own play. She felt a sense of nostalgia and gratitude as she stepped onto the stage where it had all begun. As she looked out at the audience, Emma felt Margaret's presence once more, a gentle reminder of the power of performance and the enduring legacy of the theater. She smiled, knowing that the magic of the haunted theater would live on in every performance, every actor, and every heart touched by the stage.